Hello everybody, welcome to C's Potentials. I'm C. Today I want to share that I purchased a queen quote unquote satin sheet set that comprises of 6 pieces. Today I'm only going to be using 3 of those 6 pieces, but check out and see what I'm going to make today. Now I stated quote unquote satin because this in fact is 100% polyester. If you check out the majority of your fabric type shower curtains, those are also comprised of polyester as well. I do have some organic type materials for shower curtains as well, but for the most part, they're going to be polyester. Getting back to the point, if you do not find a shower curtain that you like that is made to be a shower curtain, look in other avenues. You never know what you might find. You might find sheet sets, bedspreads. Just kind of go beyond that. Even other type of curtains can pose as a shower curtain. If you see a curtain that you like, you can get a liner for it and use that as well. Now, this being a nice sheet set, I did not want to cut into it, so I'm also going to show you a way in which you don't even have to cut or sew or do anything to this shower curtain, aka sheet. To accommodate the length in the sheet in comparison to an actual shower curtain, I simply raised the rod a little higher and then I folded the very top a good probably 8-9 inches. Now, if your shower does not have this height, just simply fold it at the top, if you will, and then you can either make a balloon bottom or you can fold it and actually just pin it closed, or if you ultimately want to sew and cut yours, you can do that. But if you're looking for an easier way to not have to do that, then you can do it in a similar way in which I did mine. So to tie in the color scheme, I figured why not use the pillowcase as a curtain for a tiny one. Incidentally, you guys want to be careful. I did start to feel the heat, but when you're cupped in between like little pleats, because this thing does get really hot, steamers will, right? And so you don't want to burn yourself, so make sure you're taking the proper precautions using a steamer. It used to be a time where in the beginning clickbait was heavy on make sure that your thumbnail title reflects what's in the content of your video, right? And oh my God, it's just rampant now. And it does kind of lead you to, there are some people who have some legit channels that still kind of tie into the clickbait, because it's like, how do you get people to watch your videos? I don't know, and that even sounds backwards, but it kind of is getting on my nerves. I just went on a 4-minute rant. I had to delete all of that mess off while I'm removing. I like interchangeably to use my little finishing embroidery shears that I have with my seam ripper. I usually get the seam ripper to get things started, but these are so sharp that they, I don't know, I feel like I work faster with these than my seam ripper. Not intentionally, I don't know. I'm recording. So I am going to put 2 of these together, and then I'm going to determine my length that I'd like for the window. I think I want to mimic the top of this curtain with the other one. I have enough to do that. I got my measurements, so I know how far wide I want to go and how course, I'm going to first go ahead and just sew a couple of straight lines. Well, excuse me, I'm just going to do one straight line downward. I'm not pulling, I'm really just going to the side. Now, I do not need the full length of this, so what I'm going to do is probably sew about another 6 inches. Right here. And what I've done is just fold it over because the edges were quite frayed, and then went down once, and then now I'm going to fold it over again, and then I'm going to follow all the way down just to give a nice finished edge. Be done with this. Okay, so now it is at this point that I am going to measure, because you see what I mean? I just want it to have the edges to be finished. Okay, I just want the edges to be finished, and so they are. But now what I'm going to do, this is going to end up being the fold back on the right side of the curtain. So I just got a couple pins here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it to the iron because it's going to kind of help me to keep things in place. Okay, so I've ironed this little bit here. I had to be careful because I think I had my iron up a little bit too hot, so you can see a little wrinkle right there. I got it off just in time. I have not come this far. I have not come this far to have this ruined. So I have an itty bitty little seam guideline there, so I'm just going to follow right on top of that to keep things going straight. I know when you're working with thin fabric, it has been said to have something else on it, some kind of this, but what I have found is that no matter how much I tension my stuff or adjust both sides, I had gathering. And so what I finally did, especially this is where I figured it out on this bit right here, I kind of held it taut, not pulled, but kind of held my fabric taut on both ends, which allowed me to get a neater stitching, if you will. So I had it taut down here, and then because I almost forgot about it, you guys, and had a little bit of bunching right there, but I remembered hold my fabric. But this is what I have to do to make sure I don't get the bunching, so that's what I'm going to do. Getting this done, and I'm thinking, I'm done. Guess what I did? I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that I need a way to hang this on the pole. Here's my thought. I can do something a little different. You know how you have the little loops on the back of a curtain? Strings. Where I can have a loop here, here, here. I probably would do 3. 1 here, 1 here, 1 in the middle, 1 here, and here. And then the pocket itself or the fold over will still remain. So I'm thinking I can either do that, or I can simply just make a loop altogether that I will attach here. I'm kind of not wanting to do that because I don't want to create any type of puckering or issues with that. So, and I could do what I said in creating that pocket there, but I don't think I want the stitching to show right there. So I'm going to go back to the thinking tank. Guys, I felt like I was on a runaway roller coaster. I kept having all of these mishaps or misdirections in which I was going to finally come to an end of making this project. However, I did not come to a final successful end without mishaps. So I'm going to share with you my faux pas, because I don't like when videos show just all these terrific ideas without showing the truth of how they got there. For which I will create here's another thought. So I am trying to mirror what I did on the shower curtain.
Right? So on the rod, I had the metal rings with the little clips that clips onto, like so, on the curtain. I do not have any more of those. I am trying to share because I know the times that we're living in is tough. It doesn't mean you don't want to live in a comfortable environment, right? So I'm trying to share that you can use things that you have, or be as least out of pocket as you can in creating a comfortable environment in your home.
Okay, so now that I have my lines, you guys, I didn't go all the way to the end because once I kind of gather this on the rod, once it's hung, that I will have a little bit wiggle room to the end to kind of stretch out the fabric to the end. So I'm very carefully going to create just a straight cut. And then I'm going to do on the other side here. I'm trying to just keep it as even as I possibly can. But I'm trying to also not over my stitch line too close, but not quite close. Because this isn't perfect. At a later time, I am going to probably use my all-purpose glue. Probably going to use the Type Bond. I am not going to use a glue gun, but you can. I wished I would not have cut into my curtain. However, it is not going to be seen, but I'm going to show you guys the continuation of this. So this is what I mean when I say it will hang like this, and we don't want this. So I have to create a way in which it will not show like that. I'm just being my authentic self, you guys. I am showing that a project does not always go as you anticipate it to go, but in the end, you can figure out a solution, and this is what I did here. So I just want to show proof that things can work out if you just give it a minute or two, or three, or four. I am going to pause. I'm going to do a little bit of seek and find to see if I can find something that can kind of resemble the way in which I hung the shower curtain. I'll be back.
I was used to like to order Hawaiian coffee. I used to keep these clips because I felt like they were, could be used for something. They're really strong. I knew eventually I would use it for something. My daughter was just laughing at me, talking about one thing my mom was going to do is save something for later. And then I am going to paint them black and see how well this goes. But these are very similar to the clips on the rings. I'll show you. You can still find these little plain acrylic paints at the stores. They still have them for under $1. You don't have a paintbrush, you can use a sponge or you can use a Q-tip. I will seal over that black using the Rust-Oleum Matte Clear Sealant. I am going to use this wire here that I have cut from a previous project that I dismantled, and I am going to use it for the rings. Template to wrap around quite a bit so that I can make some rings. But all I'm going to do is use the thickest part of the rod.
Hello, Dolly. Say hello, Dolly. I'm singing in the rain. You like none of those musicals? Not one of those? You don't like any of them? Oh, you can just start with this one.
I can't. So here's my starter, and I'm just gonna go all the way down the line. You see this one right here? I'm gonna keep in line with my pliers. Okay, and as you can see, that first cut creates a jump ring, right? So once I tap that with a hammer, it'll be stronger. Right now what I'm gonna do is take a hammer that kind of works with jewelry so that you don't mar the metal, or when you're tampering to strengthen the metal, it doesn't mar or disfigure. What I'm gonna do
I have like a sort of an anvil of sorts. It is in working with metals or wire. And I'm gonna tap it just ever. It doesn't even take a lot of tampering. You don't want to overdo it because I don't want to disfigure or flatten the wire. I just want to, it actually, believe it or not, I don't know how you scientists out there can tell me how it actually strengthens the wire, but it actually strengthens it. Also, when you tap it, it also allows your rings to hold its shape as well. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna determine how I want my fold, but then I'm gonna apply my clamps on, and then I'm going to apply the rings. So now I am going to just loop the rod through these little rings. You guys, so here's the shower curtain. And then here is the actual smaller window.
I like the way our original curtain actually puddled at the bottom like that. I don't think my husband likes that, so I just might put a fold at the bottom of it. But for right now, I like it the way it is.
I should have just did this in the first place instead of trying to do a slit on the back. But no harm, no foul. No one can see that. And actually, I made the mistake so you guys don't have to make the mistake.
And coming to a close to this video, I just would like to leave you guys with this. I typically like to start from a basic design because I tend to repurpose my items in my home. So I have this basic idea. If I ever want to go to another area or put this in another area, I can and embellish even more, and so can you. So you guys let me know if this is giving you any ideas for an area you need to cover up or use for a shower curtain.
I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of content that I have shared with you all. You guys take care, be safe out there, and thank you for watching.